Hello everybody, welcome back to Foreman Files Media. Today we're going to be doing our NBA logo tier lists. Last time we did an NFL logo tier list and the video did pretty well for my standards. So let's go NBA. In my opinion, the NFL logos are cooler, I guess, because if you want to look at the NBA, let's first of all look at this. Every single logo, or at least most of them, they have the actual team names on them. We have the Orlando Magic, we have the Dallas Mavericks, Denver Nuggets, Detroit Pistons, New Orleans Hornets, Brooklyn Nets, Atlanta Hawks Basketball Club, which in my opinion is even worse, Indiana Pacers, Minnesota Timberwolves, New York Knicks, Cleveland Cavaliers, Miami Heat, Wizards, Raptors, Warriors, Utah Jazz, Houston Rockets, Kings, OKC Thunder, Milwaukee Bucks, Blazers, Clippers. This one doesn't have LA, which is the best so far. Charlotte Hornets, Los Angeles Lakers, San Antonio Spurs, Memphis Grizzlies, Chicago Bulls, Philadelphia 76ers, Phoenix Suns, and Boston Celtics. So basically all of them have their team name on them. So I'm basically just going to ignore that because of the fact that everyone has it. I'm just going to throw it away because, it's all equal. They all have it. So I'm not going to put them all in B tier because they all have it. I'm going to put them all where they should be based on just their logo. In the thumbnail, I have the Pistons as the worst logo, and I'm going to carry out on that. It's just a basketball. It's a red basketball with a blue outline and white stripes on it. I mean, I guess the basketball has the white stripes, or the basketball has black stripes, or whatever color stripes. I can't remember. Basketball has black stripes, so make sure I'm not. Yes, the basketball has black stripes on it. I know basketball, first thing that came up was Terrell Owens hit by a car, but I hope he does well. But basketball has black stripes, so don't give me a white stripe basketball when you're a Detroit Piston. Pistons are part of a car, I think, and maybe that has some history with Detroit, but in my opinion, I don't care, and I'm actually going to change this up a little bit. First, let's do the elite tier. Second, we're going to do great. Third, we're going to do the mid tier. I have to make this one good, not great. Then we're going to do bad. And last, we're going to do change immediately. And that's exactly where, just write change. That's exactly where the Pistons deserve to be. If we look at their past logos, I mean, you see, I was searching up Pistons logo redesign because I really wanted to see it. But look at their past logos. You have the horse. I think it's a cool looking horse. I really like the teal colorway they had in 1996 and 2001. I mean, even this wasn't that bad. That reminds me of obviously the championship days. I wasn't alive, but when I think of that logo, I think of they won the championship. Then they went here with the cool color outlines, which is better than this. I mean, it's not their worst logo. I'm not going to disrespect them like that. Look at these two. They're even worse. But Pistons, terrible. They need to go and change immediately. Hopefully that's correct. I think it is. But Pistons and change immediately. Next we have the Orlando Magic. It's either going in mid or bad. The Magic also. I mean, I feel like they've had better logos than this. Just get a picture. I mean, yeah, I think these logos are much better than this. First of all, that block lettering, where it says Magic, I think that's absolutely horrible. That doesn't remind me of Magic. What reminds me of Magic is, the A as Magic. The A as Magic appears too, which honestly could be considered a little too much. But, the basketball with the stars hanging behind it, Orlando Magic, I think this is probably their best one in 2001 to 2010. The new one, the blocky letters are not good. If you have a franchise player like Paolo Banchero, he deserves better than what that is. That's going into the bad tier. Next, we have the Dallas Mavericks. Can I, put this into... I guess not. I was going to try to open the image in a different tab. But it's just mid to me. I feel like there's a lot going on for just the horse. I mean, you have the whole shields behind the horse. You have the circle on top of the horse. You have the Dallas and the little crescent-shaped on top of the horse. Then we have the Mavericks going on down here as well. Overall, it's a little too much for me. I know that's crazy because usually I'm complaining about everything being too minimal, but in this one it's just too much, so I'll put it in mid. Next we have the Denver Nuggets. Again, I'm not even again. This is just, the mountain's cool on the top. I actually like the mountain. I just wish they would have went back to one of their older logos. Like NBA logos, almost all of them, the old ones are just better, and at least in my opinion. I'm trying to see the one I'm thinking of. I mean, I was thinking of, wow, that's a really bad picture. These are, okay, here we go. I know this is obviously the current one. I was just thinking about this one. I forgot about this one. I like the gold colorway here, you know, for Nuggets, golden Nuggets. That's the whole point of Nuggets, no? And you can actually see the mountain, which is, it's the Denver, Colorado mountain. So I don't know why you wouldn't want to see that. And then it's just this, which I didn't even know was a mountain until now. So if the Nuggets went back to this logo, you could argue that it would be in the good tier. I don't know why this, and this is open. But right now, it's just not good enough. It's going into the mid tier. It's not as bad as the Pistons, definitely. And the Magic would be in the mid tier as well if they didn't have the blocky Magic lettering right here. Next, we have the New Orleans Pelicans logo. And I feel like this can go into the good one. The Pelicans logo, I feel like I'm just going to search up a logo history for all of these teams. But the Pelicans logo, obviously we know they've had a very short logo history, considering this is their third logo, and they were an expansion team in 2001, it looks like. But it's not that bad. You have obviously the New Orleans Pelican right here. We have the wings here. We have New Orleans on the top. Pelicans, I feel like the color distribution is pretty good. They were a little bit of red. They're mostly blue / gold / white. So I like it. I really like the Pelicans colorway as well. So I feel like putting them in good it's good enough, considering the rest of these logos are not amazing. Next we have the Brooklyn Nets. I'm also going to add one more tier right here and add row below. It'll just simply be too iconic. If there is a logo that probably should change, but it's too old, it has too much history, don't change it. But next we have the Nets. This is a logo that does not have too much history. They used to be in New Jersey, we know, and even in my opinion, that logo is better than this one. But I'm going to ignore these first couple logos until 1978, because that's the first logo I recognize. It's the Brooklyn Nets, so how much are you going to do with the or not even mascot, with the logo, Nets? But I'll throw it in bad. I'll put it in bad. Next we have the Atlanta Hawks basketball club. The Hawks old logo was so good. It was the flying hawk, the one that was actually reaching his arms out with the basketball. I feel like I've been searching up logos too much, so I'm not going to do it this time. It's a bad logo considering what they had before. You know, I'm going to do it anyway. The Hawks logo before with the red, here it is right here. With the red wings. You have the blue outline behind it, the claws grabbing at the basketball, like that's fierce. This is not fierce. This is just the Atlanta Hawk looking like that. Like, it's not cool. It's definitely not iconic. The last one would be an iconic because that probably could end up here in elite tier. But their logo sucks and they deserve to be right there. Same thing with the Pacers. I know they've changed their logos a couple times. It used to be a hand holding the ball, and now it's just an awkward looking P. It's just bad. I mean, a lot of bad logos, and the Pacers I feel like is just, what is a Pacer? So what are you going to do with the Pacer? The Hawks, you can have a fierce looking hawk. You know, the Seahawks. Did I put them in elite last time? I don't know. But they had a fierce looking hawk, so I put them high. This is just a hawk looking. It looks like Winthrop's logo, the college, which, why do you want to look like a college logo? You want to look like a real bird, a real fierce bird like we have, like right here, that's grabbing the basketball, basically ripping it. You can see the indent. But it's just not good enough. Pelicans is easily the best so far in my opinion. Next we have the Timberwolves, and considering all of these logos I see right here, all of the trash I see right here, Timberwolves got it. Timberwolves is going to be an elite tier. I also feel like the Timberwolves logo is one that actually got better over time. Unlike the Hawks, obviously. But I mean, just look at this. So here's what I'm seeing at least. First of all, that first logo, that bright, or I guess not bright, that lime green, it's kind of nasty. You know, it's just not enough for me in my opinion. That second logo, it's not bad. It's very similar to the one before, except their wolf looks a little more chubby. Then the third one I feel like is better, but they've just got better every time. This is more simple. The little star up here, you know, because it's a wolf, werewolf, midnight, or something like that. Then you got the wolf with the green on its nose, the green eyes. It's just cool, and it's the coolest one in the NBA so far. I haven't really took a deep dive on any of these. But elite tier for the Minnesota Timberwolves. I like your logo. I like the colorways. And you deserve to be in the elite tier. Next, we have the Knicks. And I guess just too iconic, which is kind of crazy considering what they have 2 championships. But I mean, it's not cool. I'm just gonna throw it in too iconic because Pacers have no history, Hawks have no history, Nets have no history. I mean, they went to the chip a couple times, but never won it. Pistons do too, but they also had history with a different logo. So I'm not gonna say the logo is too iconic if they had history with a different logo. But I'll put the Knicks in too iconic. You know, New York is one, if not the basketball city in the world. So I'll just throw it there. I mean, at the end of the day, it's just the logo sucks, but if they're lucky, I'm throwing it into iconic. Next, we have the Cavs, and this is going in change immediately because why change it? The Cavaliers' old logo, it wasn't amazing by any means, by the way. I mean, it wasn't amazing, but it was just better. I feel like you have the little yellow tint at the end. I feel like I can't really zoom in on this one. Here, we have the little yellow tint on we have it on the sword, on the wordings outside of the basketball. Then on the new one, right here, it's just a shield. Stop making logo shields. I know it's Cavaliers, like you're a pirate or something, but don't make it a shield. That one with the sword was so much cooler. So change immediately, go back to your old one, and maybe you'll get LeBron and Kyrie back with it. Next, we have the Heat, and ever since I was a little kid, I thought this logo was so cool. You know, the little circle is the basketball hoop. The fiery basketball is going in. You have the yellow flames on top. I mean, it really just shows their full colors. You know, they wear white, they wear red, they wear black, they wear everything. At least they do now with the Miami Vice uniforms, which I think are okay. But here, going in elite, I just really like their logo. It's just cool. It reminds me back when LeBron was playing, because that's really when I started watching when I started watching basketball is when, or at least at the very end, was when LeBron was playing with the Miami Heat and losing to the Spurs in the finals. But that's elite tier. Next we have is the Washington Wizards. You have the Washington Monument in the background, but don't know how many times I have to explain myself when I say this. Their old logo was just so much better. That last one, it's a cool looking wizard. I feel like go back to the one right before that, or even one before that, even though they're really similar with Gilbert Arenas. Like that's a cool logo, you know. It looks like the wizard's going out for a finger roll. It's a fierce looking wizard as well. I didn't even notice it had the W in the body, but it does. I guess you guys can't really see with my face cam, but it's a fierce looking wizard up here. Then they just made it the Washington Monument. If you could have included the Washington Monument with this fierce looking wizard, then maybe we start talking. But right now, we're going into the bad tier because it's bad. Next we have the Raptors. I'll easily, like right away, I'll put them in good tier. I don't know where else to put them. Raptors logo history is going to hurt me a little bit because I feel like this is one of the ones where you should have just stuck with the original one. Now I feel like at least the fans, maybe even the owner, knows that this was probably a better logo, but maybe they had to include they even had Toronto up here, so I don't even know. But it's a cool looking dinosaur. It's a dinosaur playing basketball. It's a raptor playing basketball. There's a lot of things you can do with this, and instead you went ahead and went with it's one of the basketball with a claw through it. It's cool, but it's definitely not as cool as my guy up here. I'll even say my guy up here with the purple. It's a cool little hint of purple right there. Don't know why I was choking up on my words, but it could be so much better. And honestly, I could argue. I'll be respectful to the Nuggets. I'll put this up here as well because these are very similar. But anyway, let's go next with the Warriors. It's just the Golden Gate Bridge. I know the old Warriors logo, the one with the actual warrior. A lot of people like it. In my opinion, it's not that good. I mean, okay, now that I'm looking at it, it might be a little cooler. He's holding the lightning bolt, which... Where's the lightning bolt in Warriors? It's just a warrior, so I don't know where the lightning bolt came from. But they darkened their color. I didn't even notice that, to be honest. And I hate that I can't scroll, but they darkened their color from 2019. Honestly, it looks a little bit better. It pops out more. But I feel like, I don't know, because I feel like this one right now is not that bad. It's not terrible, and it might just go in the mid tier, honestly. But that Warrior back one, I feel like is a little overrated because the colors are cool. It doesn't remind me of the Warriors right now because the Warriors right now have the blue and the yellow. It's, when we think of Warriors, we think of Stephen Curry. Honestly, I might throw it into too iconic, but I'm not going to because they recently changed it. For the Knicks, they basically have the same logo since the Knickerbockers. But Warriors will go into mid. The Jazz, just change immediately. The old Jazz logo was not even that good either. Isn't it just like, it was better. And I feel like if they used purple, the Raptors couldn't use purple because I feel like they're clashing in their ways of coloring because purple is such a unique color where I feel like only one team needs to use it. But this logo is just bad. Please just go back to this one. This one probably lands you in the mid tier. This one will keep you in the change tier. Change immediately tier. Remember, I changed that name. Next, we have the Rockets. Mid, maybe. That's bad tier. I'll throw them in mid tier. It's another team where their old logo was just so much better. That rocket flying around the basketball, shooting up to the moon with the Rockets in front, and you could see a little trail. I didn't even know this was their new logo. You guys can't see. 2019 to now, I didn't even know that was their new logo. That's even worse. I don't know. Is that their logo? Search of Houston Rockets logo first, and that comes up. I will base it off of. It is alright. It's the regular one. So I'm gonna keep them in mid. That next logo sucks with the gray basketball in the back. Why? Why do you need a gray basketball in the back? Doesn't matter. Old logo is better. We know it. Change back to this one with the cool flying rocket. Look, it's a fierce rocket. I'm pointing at the screen. You guys can't see it, but it's a fierce rocket as well. He's pointing up to the sky. Change it back to that. NBA would be so much better if these teams changed back to their original logos. Rockets is mid. Honestly, we're going down to bad. Next, we have the Sacramento Kings. I don't even remember the Kings' old logo. They might have just kept their whole logo forever. Am I wrong? Oh no, I do remember that little DeMarcus Cousins era of the logo. Even now, I feel like this one's better. That feels like a little too much. You have the crown on the top, which I didn't even notice. The swords, the basketball in the middle, just not good enough. The colorway's a lot better than the the Kansas City Royals colorway, and I'm glad they changed it. But it's going into bad because, you have a king, the basketball king. You can't do anything with that. Imagine the marketing if LeBron went to the Kings. You maybe could have even put him on the logo, but we're going to stay with bad right now. Next is the Oklahoma City Thunder, and they used to be the Supersonics, but I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to count that as their old logo because they had to move, but I think I'll just zoom in right here. OKC, you have the orange and the blue. I've always looked at this logo really close because, it was my brother's favorite team, so it is his favorite team. So just seeing like the jerseys and just this logo, I've always looked at it a lot closer than some others might, and it's really boring. And it's gonna go into the bad tier because Thunder, you can use Thunderbolts. There's just you can do so much more with this than what you're doing right now. You're going into the bad tier, and I might move up one of these teams to mid tier. I think I'm gonna move the Wizards up. And just because they have an animal, I feel like if the Hawks just put, I don't know, something without an animal, it'd be bad, but I'll put them into the mid. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. Yeah. Next we have the Milwaukee Bucks. Mid, I mean, it's just a Buck. You can see his eyes are tilted a little bit down. So if you want to say it's a little fierce, go ahead and say it. But you can make this so much more fierce. It's just not cool. I mean, it's a mean deer. You can't make a mean looking deer. That's going into the mid because it's mid. Next we have the Blazers. I feel like I have to do this. I'm acting like I've done this more than once, but Blazers logo meaning, because you just have a red thing that goes like that and a white thing that goes like that. What? A modern graphic interpretation of the game of basketball, 5 players from each side. That's it? There's no other reason? I swear there was another reason. It's a pinwheel. We're looking into USA Today, seeing what this means. Alright, I don't know what that was. I don't know where I'm going to be looking, honestly. But, all I know is that whatever the meaning is, it's not cool enough. The logo's not that bad. I mean, on the court it looks a lot cooler, but I'm not going to say that. It's a pinwheel with 5 guys on the side. You're going into change immediately. It sucks. It looks cool on the court, but when I'm looking at it right here, when I'm looking at Scoot Henderson MVP season in 5 years, I don't want to see that. I want to see a cooler logo. I want to see a real trailblazer, whatever that is. Change immediately for the Portland Trailblazers. Next is the Clippers, and they've had a couple logo changes in their time. They're going into the bad tier. I almost put them into iconic, but basketball L or C on top of an L and an A, it's just not cool. It's just bad. And then Clippers right there, it's just not good enough. Going into the bad tier. Next we have the Hornets, and I feel like the Hornets can work their way into the good tier. Not elite in my opinion, but I know it's a little blurry, and they used to be the Charlotte Bobcats. I'm not going to base it off of that because they changed they had a team redesign. It's a more of a fierce looking Hornet, which I like. Obviously I like the fiercer looking animals. You can go back to my NFL logo tier list, but I like the fierce looking animals, and this is a little more fierce than this Atlanta Hawk, who's just, like I said, just looking that way. Yeah, this is going in good too. I think that's exactly what it deserves. Lakers, I'll make this quick. Too iconic. One of the most, or tied for the most winningest franchise in history. Honestly, the logo sucks. It's just Los Angeles Lakers. How much you gonna do with your mascot being a lake? I'm not sure, but it's going into too iconic tier pretty easily. Spurs, I honestly want to put it in the same thing because of how much history that team has as well. But they've changed their colors a little bit, and honestly, I like their new colors better than, I guess they're destroying the Rockets right now. Might want to look at that. Might want to look at those highlights to see how good Wembanyama's doing. But Spurs logo history, they used to have this colorful pink, blue, orange. Was it cool? I don't know. It probably stood for something, but they don't have it anymore. Honestly, go back to this. It reminds me of Tim Duncan. It reminds me of Kawhi Leonard, Tony Parker, Manu Ginobili, Boris Diaw, Bruce Bowen, Danny Green. Who else can I name? Tiago Splinter. Whoever, basically. Patty Mills. It's just better than what they have right now. And because they changed their logo, I'll put it in bad. It's not too iconic, because the too iconic would be this one. And I like this logo. I hate to say it, but it kind of reminds me of... Actually, I'm not going to say that. I'll keep it right there. Bad for the San Antonio Spurs. Next, we have the Grizzlies. It's just a chubby-looking Grizzly at the end of the day. They can just make this so much better. I'm going to ignore that right here, and I'm just gonna look at the. I'm pointing at the screen. You guys can't see. I'm gonna ignore the lettering underneath. Just look at the grizzly. The yellow eyes are a cool touch. I like it. That's why it's probably going to the good tier. But it's a chubby grizzly. You know, you want to make your grizzly fit. You know, you want to show that your team exercises. You know, they're in the gym. They don't have chubby cheeks like the grizzlies have right here. But fierce yellow eyes, I like it. And for that reason, I'm putting them in the, not in that tier, I'm putting them in the good tier. Just make your grizzly a little less chubby, and you got them in the elite tier. Maybe the grizzly's not chubby actually. Maybe it's just all the hair on his chin. But you're going into the good tier right now. Honestly, you're probably the second best team in the good tier. Next is the Chicago Bulls. You might say put it into iconic, but forget about that. We're not putting it into iconic. We're putting it in elite. This is a very fierce looking bull, and I like that it's a fierce looking bull. Fierce animals will get the job done. The Timberwolves aren't even looking fierce. They're just menacing. You know, it's a Timberwolf. It's a werewolf. 12 a.m. or 12 at midnight. You don't want a werewolf attacking you. And then this bull just looks menacing. I mean, they have the second best player of all time, Michael Jordan. It's just a menacing bull. It looks like he's gonna, I don't want to like show it, stand up and show it, but looks like it's scraping its feet on the ground, getting ready to charge at me. Bulls in the elite tier. 76ers, just change immediately. Circle basketball 76ers. I've always not hated, but the teams with the numbers in their name, 49ers, 76ers. There might be a team in the MLB, NHL. I don't really care about those sports, to be honest. So, I just don't like numbers in the name. It'd be different if the 76ers had recent championships. I guess the 49ers don't have a recent championship because I put them into iconic. You know what? I'll see the logo history of the 76ers. See if anything can change my mind, because obviously that elite logo right there, the colorway is just amazing. It's just, I'm not going to say too perfect, but what does the 76ers remind me of? Obviously Allen Iverson. The new ones they've just always been bad. Isn't this their logo right now? 63 to 77, isn't that their logo right now? They used to be the Syracuse Nationals, and I can't imagine an NBA team being in Syracuse, so I'm going to try to get off this little graphic real quick. But go back to the one from 2009. You might have yourself a good logo, but right now, change it immediately. Next, we have the Phoenix Suns. It's just a sun with a basketball. Don't know how much you want me to respect that. I mean, could you do a lot more? I guess not, but that's not my fault. I did not pick your mascot to be a Phoenix Sun. Pretty sure their mascot's a gorilla, so actually no, I did not pick their team name to be the Phoenix Suns. So you're going to the mid tier. Last but not least, you have the Celtics guy. And I feel like if you have a guy in your logo, it's just so much more cooler, makes it feel more human, more elite. Probably my hot take of the day, but I mean, it feels retro. I know I could just throw it into iconic like the Lakers, because Celtics Lakers, you have the rivalry. They're both very winning teams. But I don't know. Something about this logo just hits different with me. I'm not sure. Maybe it's the guy, maybe it's the cigar, maybe it's him. I guess it's a leprechaun. Alright, I guess because it's a leprechaun, it's going in elite. And yes, here's my end tier list. I kind of like it. If you want to argue the Spurs are too iconic, you can. We saw it earlier. It's just different than their old ones, so I'm not going to put them into iconic. If they do change back to their old one, they can go into iconic. Honestly, it's close enough. They're going into iconic. I know I just switched on my words right there. But here's my tier list. Like I said earlier in the video, I just feel like NFL logos are just so much better because they don't have the team name on them most of the time. I know some of them do. But yeah, that's my tier list. Make sure to like, subscribe to the channel, comment, click the link in the description for video ideas, and make sure to follow Foreman Files Media on Instagram. Follow my Instagram, and I think that's everything in the description. So thank you for watching this video. Like I said before, and peace. I'm just saying too much.